The lid of the boot is locked from the outside. I'm already on the run. I've been on the run ever since. My mother disappeared when I was 5. I had no relationship with her at all. There were many substitute mothers who passed through my father's hands. One particular stepmother who in her own way was heroic, steadied the ship for a while. My mother was a mystery, because it was never properly revealed what had happened to her. Was she dead? Was she alive? Ronnie didn't like hard truths. I met her again at 21. I wrote to her brother. He wrote back saying, here's her address. Never tell her that I told you. So I wrote to my mother and said, your brother tells me. So I felt completely unbound by this injunction.
Did you imagine her having regrets about leaving you and your brother?
Well, when I met her, I asked how she felt about it. And she replied, and it was always her reply, that my father had been intolerable to live with, that she got sick of the trail of mistresses he was bringing to the house, that there was never any money passing through, and she didn't like all these crooks coming through his life. She said if she had attempted any other measure, he knew so many wonderful lawyers, which indeed he did, that she would never have had a chance in the marital court. So she gave up all that stuff and thought she'd just push off.
Do you remember the day she left?
No. If you are going to leave your children that night with your white suitcase packed, do you kiss them goodbye? Did she come into the room where we slept, take a last look at us? So I imagine it. I imagine that she did.
You came into possession of this suitcase.
When she died, I spotted this beautiful white hide suitcase from Harrods, lined with silk inside, with her initials on the outside, OMC, Olive Moore Cornwell. That must have been the suitcase into which she packed her clothes. I imagined the amazing flimsies that it would have contained, and the most exquisite clothes. She took it into a kind of poverty. She ran away with a chap who had no money. I imagined the suitcase being unpacked and the last of the luxury gradually fading away. I kept the suitcase. It's the only relic I have of her, physical evidence that that thing happened.
What did the suitcase mean to you? Why keep it?
I accused it in my mind of being, as it were, a conspirator in her secret departure from the house one night. To me, it's historic. She was impenetrable emotionally. I never heard her express a serious feeling. But when she went to nursing home for her last year or so, then She created a fantasy with the nurses. She had painted to the nurses a picture of maternal loyalty to us, the long lives we had shared, all the fun we'd had. So she had filled in the gap years, if you like. And when I attended her dying, the irony of the moment was she mistook me for my father. She said, "You never brought me orchids." I think it was a reference to some other amour he had. I will never know. And I said, "What color do you like?" She said, "I don't care, I've never seen them. Bring me an orchid." People loved Ronnie to the end of his days, even people he'd robbed. When he was on stage, beguiling people, he absolutely believed in what he was doing and saying. These spasms of immense charm and persuasiveness were his moments of feeling real. "Son, when I'm judged, as judged I shall surely be. I shall be judged on how I treated you and your brother Tony. That will be God's will." God was a big pal of his. Whether he believed in God is mysterious, but he was certain God believed in him. These extraordinary, ingenious confidence tricks were part of a conversation he was having with God. If I do this, can I get away with it? If I do that, can I get away with it?
Bargaining with God.
Yeah, I think more betting with God. If I put this much on the table, how about that? Ronnie always, whether he had to steal, borrow, or bribe the headmaster, wanted me to have the posh education. I learned the manners and the attitudes of a class to which I did not belong. I studied, and I frequently felt slighted. There were times when I hated the class to which I had been assigned. I was on enemy territory, but I learned to dress properly. I learned to speak properly. I turned myself into one of them, but I never felt like one of them. From a very early age, I was a little spy. Whenever Ronnie left the house, I investigated. I did not know what the world held. When the debt collectors came in, my toys disappeared, the furniture disappeared, women disappeared, mothers disappeared. When Ronnie was really frightened, and it was black the house out, put the lights out, put the cars in the back garden, he wasn't afraid of the law, he was afraid of the mob.
Jealous heart, oh jealous heart, stop beating. Can't you see the damage you have done?
When he died, he had offices in Jermyn Street. On the top floor lived ladies of the night, who, as he put it, were always ready to cook some sausages for him. He had 2 Ford Zephyr cars, a house in Henley, a house in Tite Street, Chelsea, for what purpose I know not. And he had these offices. We could not find on his person, in the drawers of his desk, enough money to pay the staff till the end of the week. There was no money. There was a horse in France at Maison Lafitte, a couple of horses in Ireland.
You call them the never-wasers?
The never-wasers. He had a world champion jockey